Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's spotlight session with our winner. His name is Raj, and welcome, Raj. Welcome.
Yeah,
So nice to have you.
thanks for having me.
Yes, finally. Could you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about your background?
So my name's Raj, and I've been looking after and running an online store, and I do all the digital marketing, and I built the store from scratch as well. But I wanted to start my newsletter, which I've been looking at doing for a couple of 3 years, and I just took the leap at the start of this year and joined Substack and found Yana online, and it's been something that's kind of keeping me going. So with the
Yeah,
challenges and making sure I put the tick in those boxes for the
yeah.
weekly newsletter and the notes. Um, that's it really.
Yeah, great, great. It's interesting. I don't see many people who are doing e-commerce. I also have such experience in my background, but I at some point because I have been working in my 9 to 5 job in a something like a digital agency. We were doing e-commerce shops for our clients, like
Yeah.
business clients. That's one thing. And then I have been building some online stores on the side for me, and just wanted to test things like drop shipping and print
Yeah.
on demand things. But I really found that dealing with physical products it's a difficult thing for me. So
Yeah. Yeah. It can be.
yeah, I prefer to stay in the digital and also in the services part, not so much on the
Yeah.
physical.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, what kind of products are you selling? And what's
So the products we sell, it's my brother-in-law owns the company, and the products that we sell, they're quite specialized. It's like a metal framework that holds. Actually, if you look up in any building, like in a coffee shop or airport or
yeah?
somewhere like that, it's all the metalwork that holds the wiring and
Uh-huh.
ductwork in
Okay.
place.
All right.
So we sell that. I just basically just run the website, make sure it's ticking over, do all the ads, Google ads, and things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I agree with you. I'd rather get into something where it's more um, not physical products based, so digital products or agency work and stuff like that. It's just
Yeah.
much easier to deliver. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, so it's something
It's
that I've been doing for the last 6 years.
yeah.
And before that, I was doing SEO work for myself, building up sites. When SEO was easier to do. I'm
Yeah.
talking about in 2008, 2009 onwards.
Yes. It's not
So
like
no,
that today. Not
no,
really.
it's not. It's not. It's
No,
not.
no. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I also think it's digital products. With digital products, you basically have ownership of the whole process and the whole customer journey,
Yeah,
from idea to delivery, and also retaining and working with customers. Well, physical products, you basically are dependent on so many stakeholders in the value chain
yeah,
that you can't really control their quality of product and service, and also it's not very wise to depend on just one, and it's basically a full time job
yeah,
for running a real physical business. It's really
yeah. I mean, I'm quite lucky in that we've got the people in the unit that um, the premises where all the products are, and for me it's like a drop shipping setup where
yes.
the orders come in and they take care of all the picking and packing and shipping, and I don't get involved in that. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
still
Well,
it can be a
digital
headache.
products. Yes. And digital products and services, it's really easy. And also, that's why I love Substack, because we could do everything on Substack, basically.
Yeah,
Build an audience and then create products and offer to this audience directly.
yeah,
And
yeah.
also the element of the social media, which is really amazing. But yeah, we're here to talk about Substack, and with your background and knowledge about e-commerce and copywriting and SEO as well,
Yeah,
it's really it's very very helpful to start at that level to build something like a online writing business. I
yeah,
see a lot of writers don't really have that; they have to learn that. For me, it was much easier because I had that when I started, and I now understand it's you. Also,
yeah,
the same for you.
yeah,
So, and I what I learned for online writing also, it's a lot about copywriting. It's very much about copywriting.
yeah.
What
It is.
it
Well,
is.
the way I look at it, copywriting, it exists everywhere. I mean, if you're going to write a post on, if you're writing a newsletter or if you're writing a one of the notes, it all needs to be structured in a certain way, and the structures fall into a certain copywriting formula. There's so many formulas out there
Yes.
that you. It's basically for copywriting. The way I look at it is just putting words together in a certain way to persuade somebody to do something. Whether
Basically,
it's click on subscribe to my newsletter. So you might write a newsletter, but at the end of it, you need some copy that is enticing them to take
yeah,
action, whether it's
yeah,
buy one of your products or subscribe to your newsletter. So it's everywhere. So I got quite fascinated with copywriting. I mean, I have to use it in the store that I run as well. When you're listing certain products, you have to describe them in a certain way to make them
yeah,
look
yeah,
good to the customer. So it exists everywhere. So I wanted to study it. So I bought a few books, and I thought, well, there must be an easy way because I can't read. One of my mentors is I don't know if you know Neville Medora.
mm,
He owns the copywriting course. Anyway, he suggests a number of books. There's about 10, 15. I'm like, that will take you about 2 years to read.
yeah,
So then, because I got into AI, I just thought, well, surely this can help you learn. And I'm sure you've used AI. It's all about whatever you put into AI. That's the
yeah,
quality that you get out. So I decided that I wanted to combine copywriting and AI and show people how it's all about what you put into AI
yeah,
that will, produce the better results. So
yeah.
that's what I'm hoping to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I also like to say that it's um, basically it's it's something like a funny thing to say, but it's if you have a shitty input, you have shitty output, from
Yeah,
AI.
yeah, that's
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
Yeah,
It's all about you put, as you said, in
yeah.
the AI.
So I think, I mean, I haven't really got the full focus of what my newsletter is going to be and how it's going to be structured. But I started off just putting together some of it. I've done about six now, I think, newsletters, and that was just to make sure that I got into a weekly habit. So now I'm
Yeah,
thinking, now I've got into the habit, obviously with your help, with your
yeah, yeah.
challenges.
Yes,
Now I'm in the habit of doing one every week. I want to try and now focus it on what am I actually trying to teach people, and I think it's about teaching them how to use AI
yeah.
to get what kind of prompts you need to put in, what how to structure a prompt properly, to get the best output out.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, it's really it's AI is it's kind of a new universe that you can deep dive into it, and
Yeah,
you can test and learn and apply and change and test again, and it's improving and improving. Even though it's not only about prompting, but also the models in itself. All of the models are improving based on the learning that they're continuously trained on the data from users as well. But yeah, I follow the trend and where this is going, and it's not so much about prompting from my understanding, but it's all about how you work those workflows that you establish with the AI, because it's more of a conversation and the data you feed it and what do you ask out of it, and then just how you lead the conversation more, and not so much on the single prompt itself and designing the single prompt um, because it's improving and really understands what you're saying. It's just
Yeah.
you just have to figure how to talk to it.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is just imagine you've got an assistant, a human assistant sitting next to you,
Exactly. Yes.
and you're telling that person that I want to put this report together. The assistant then needs to know, okay, what's the report about? What kind of things you want to include and things. And so it's like a back and forth conversation.
Yes.
Um, yeah, that, I mean, like you said, it's developing so much now. Whereas
Yes.
before, you would have to put in a mega prompt, they call them, which is
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
hundreds of words and stuff. But now it's actually getting to the point where it is short sentences that you need to put into it. It will give you some output, and then you then scrutinize that output and say, well, yeah, can you change this slightly, or can we go down this angle? So it's
Yes.
just like having somebody sitting next to you and having a conversation with them, and
Yes.
then at the end of the conversation, the assistant knows exactly what you want, and they go away and do the job.
Yes, 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 exactly, exactly. And also, it's for copywriting. I notice it's very, very good at this. If you know
Yeah,
how to approach it and what to ask it,
yeah,
it's really good. All right, yeah. So on your Substack, I think it's a great combination to approach it from this angle. So artificial intelligence and copywriting.
yeah.
It's really, really like on the spot on thing. It's really a powerful combination, and you could do so much on your Substack. Yes, you're still starting, like just starting, but tell us maybe a little bit more. What do you want to achieve from your Substack? Like,
Um, I think the main thing is getting subscribers and getting people to notice you. I think I've been doing Substack now for like 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
okay,
And I checked my stats yesterday, and I've only got 13 followers. 3 of those are my friends.
yeah, okay,
So it's growing slowly, but I sat down before I started the Substack, and I made sure that I was going to do this for at least a year.
okay,
That was going to be continuously uh, once a week. I'm actually now in a position where I'm thinking I'm going to do my newsletter on Thursdays and Tuesdays now, so it's going to be twice a week.
okay,
And that's because I've got AI set up in such a way where, yeah. So yeah, I'm looking to move my newsletter to two times a week, Thursday and Tuesdays. So I'm hoping that might attract some more subscribers. But that's the goal, is to get, and find out how I can increase my subscriber count and what things I need to do and how I can help that along.
yeah. Have you figured? Can you share some best practices for growing your audience so far?
Um, I think like what you said and a lot of people say is try to interact with people. So
Yeah.
when you write a note, I try and spend half an hour finding some of other people's notes and commenting on those. Um, Trying to find other newsletters that align with mine,
Mm.
subscribe to them, and recommend some of those as well, which I think I've got through. I'm not sure how many can you recommend.
I don't think there's a limitation, honestly.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think I've got 3 at the moment. One of which is yours, obviously,
Yeah.
and a couple of others that I found. But I want to be. Um, I don't know if this is the best way, but I'm trying to just recommend newsletters that I like, rather than just trying to fill up those slots.
Yes. Yes.
Because obviously subscribers is not worth having 1,000 subscribers if only 200 of those are interested in what you're saying,
Yes.
because
Yes.
you want to get targeted subscribers. So I'm not really looking to get hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I just want targeted subscribers, people that are really interested in what I have to say.
Yes. Yes. I think that's a great approach. That's really, really important. And thank you for saying this, because not many people are thinking about this when they grow their audience. And then a lot of writers are coming up to a moment where where they have grown an audience, and then they try to monetize, but it's really difficult because they have invested a lot of time and effort into growing an audience from people who are not the right people.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's really important. It's better to grow slow but steady and with the right audience,
yeah,
instead of really fast and then having a low conversion rate, which
yeah.
is
That's it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Right. Can you share some challenges that you have faced so far on Substack and how did you address them?
So the first challenge was I found it very difficult to not navigate Substack, but know what I should do, how to put the profile together, and once I put the profile together, what do I do next? And I think one of the questions I was asking was, I put it on a note, and obviously I've got no reach, so I didn't really get any replies or anything. But um, I think it was about how do I change. Yeah, that was it. When you publish a newsletter, how do you change the thumbnail? I think it was.
Yeah, yeah,
When I found out, I was like, that's so easy. But when you
yeah,
don't know something, you don't. It's like you're beating around trying to find the answers, and then I looked online. I was thinking somebody must have like a step-by-step guide,
yeah,
written out in an article or some kind of video on YouTube that shows you do this, then do this, then do this, and then you're ready to go with your newsletter. And I struggled to find anything. I think you sent me a video,
yes,
which is about half an hour or something like that long, that goes through things.
yes.
That helped. But again, that wasn't freely available. It was only because I think I asked you the question when you sent it to me. But I think that would be something good for someone to put together.
Yeah,
To go through all the things that you need to do, to set your Substack up
yeah,
from zero to getting going.
yeah,
Um, so obviously, I was contemplating should I go with Beehive or should I go with Substack. I eventually went with Substack, and then um, Substack, I found out that they've got an internal video step by step process, and I was thinking this is something Substack should be doing, but I've committed to Substack, so this is where I am. That was one of the challenges, and like I says now, the only challenge is just trying to figure out how I can up my subscriber count, and I just think it's a case of um, finding the right people
yeah,
and interacting with those
yeah.
people.
Yeah. That's really really important. Yes, and Substack is really not very user friendly and not an easy to navigate, not really intuitive platform.
Yeah,
Um, but from a functionality perspective, I think on the upside of the things, it has a lot more functionalities that help us grow our audience, with notes being one, and also chat and the direct this enablement of direct interaction with people, which is basically what other platforms do not have, like Beehive and also Kit.
yeah,
Yeah, you have here a full options, like full stack of of options to get discovered, like as
yeah.
if you're on a social media or something. Um, Great, yes. Okay, moving towards like a deep dive into your Substack a little bit. Can you tell us how and why you decided to come to Substack in the first place?
So the first thing was I started hearing about the notes thing and how people were raving about it and saying it's a great way to. It really helps to build your following, and I just thought, yeah, I mean, I follow a few people on Substack before I went on Substack,
Yeah,
and like the look of their newsletters. I mean, a newsletter's a newsletter. It doesn't have to be fancy, but it just seemed as if everybody was moving towards Substack with their newsletters. So I just thought, well, why not go with the crowd in that sense? And so
yeah.
that was that reason. Yeah,
Yeah, yes, just follow the trend. Yes, everybody's coming to Substack right now. It's growing really, really fast. Although I think we are approaching the moment of maturity of the platform, so
yeah,
growth will eventually start slowing down. I think we're already starting to see some signs of it.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, your Substack. Oh, what is your Substack all about?
So it's at the moment I'm well. The goal is to teach people how to use AI and how important copywriting is because it is everywhere. If you write a newsletter, like I said at the end of it, or when you want somebody to take an action, you need to know how to structure words together in the right way to make entice them to click the subscribe button or whatever. It's in everyday life. It's in products. It's in billboards. It's everywhere. So it's a skill that if you want to write online, I believe you need to know um, at least some copywriting skills. But then, as I said, to learn copywriting, you can't read all the books that are out there. Um, if you want to start, in the next month or so. But that's where AI comes in. AI is like basically, I think AI speeds things up. That's one of its main functionalities. It has all the knowledge that you need. It's like a library that you've got at the tip of your fingertips, where before you used to type into Google what you want to know, and then it will show you a list of links, and you then have to go through the links, see if that page contains the information that you are looking for. If not, you click back out, and then you go to the next link. Where AI is basically it's a conversation, isn't it? So I want to know how this copywriting formula works. Can you explain it to me? AI will then, within seconds, give you a short breakdown explaining what that formula is all about. And then once you've read it, you can say, "Oh, can you give me some real world examples?" And then it will give you some real world examples that it's pulled from the internet, and you will then understand. Oh, right, okay, I understand now. That's what that formula is supposed to achieve. Rather than reading a book where a lot of people don't read no more, or even if you got the audio book of this book, it's there's a lot of fluff in books. I think whereas AI will just get straight to the point because you're asking a specific question and it's giving you specific answers, not containing no fluff. So my newsletter is about showing people that. So there's a lot of I'm on LinkedIn as well, and I follow some people. And there's this one person that was on LinkedIn who said that 90% of his content is AI generated. And he had a lot of negative comments, and a lot of those people were people that were copywriters saying, "Oh, you're losing the art of the skill of copywriting, and it's this is not copywriting." And I just thought these people are just people that always exist when any time technology evolves. So when car manufacturers had thousands of workers in there before they got the robots in to go on the assembly lines, people were in uproar, and it was all the people that were working on the lines thinking, they're going to take our jobs, this, that, the other. And yes, that's happened, but other jobs have been created. But the reason they were in uproar is because they fear change.
Exactly.
AI is doing the exact same thing, and especially with copywriters, they're thinking, "Oh, we're going to be obsolete." And all my newsletter, every time I always publish it, I always try and put in there that AI won't replace you as a copywriter. It will only replace you if you don't learn how to use it. So if you can learn how to use AI for your copywriting, all it's going to do is speed up your process and your workflows. It's not going to replace you. And the fact that you've got all this copywriting knowledge should actually put you ahead of people that are starting out using AI for copywriting. So
yes, I love
that,
to say that it's very straight to spot on, actually, to the point. Because I always love to say especially for writers, you're never going to be replaced by AI, but you will be replaced from people who are using AI.
that's
It's
right. Yeah.
yeah,
That's a common phrase that's used, and
yeah,
it's used commonly because it's correct. If you
yeah,
don't adapt to what AI is bringing to the world,
yeah,
you're going to be left on a scrap heap.
yeah,
So it's so accessible. It's not expensive to get a subscription to one of these AI models
yeah,
that you can just spend a month just playing around with it, and you'll figure out how it can fit into your workflow. then you're going to make it fit into your workflow, and then you're going to think, oh my god, why didn't I use this before? Because it's making me so much more effective and efficient.
Yes, yes, yes. So it's just people have to realize that, and not it's natural first reaction to stay like in denial and
Thanks, really.
also try to refuse what's coming. But really, that's only slowing you down,
Yeah,
and yeah,
yeah,
you're just falling behind the
yeah. That's it.
trends.
Yeah,
That's it. It's actually what happened. It makes me always think about Medium. It's actually exactly what's happening there. Not only because AI, but because of many other reasons, like they struggle with profitability and things, but their position on AI is exactly the same, exactly
yeah,
similar. Like they are like refusing and rejecting and like being so negative towards AI
yeah.
when at the same time their main competitors are implementing AI like crazy.
That's
And
it.
guess what's happening to Medium in the next years? It's just if they
Yeah.
don't change
So
that.
it's
Yeah,
it's it's like stories that have happened in the past. The past will always teach you things like Blockbuster. Everybody knows what happened to Blockbuster.
yeah,
Um, Somebody, I don't know if you know the story. Netflix was offered
yeah,
to Blockbuster. Blockbuster refused it, saying no, that's not the future. And now look what happened. Netflix
yeah,
is one of the biggest things online, and
yeah.
Blockbuster doesn't exist. It's because they didn't see. They basically feared change. And if
Many
media are
reasons.
doing the same thing and refusing
Exactly.
to implement it, they will probably not exist in a couple of years.
Yeah, if they continue with that kind of mindset and thinking, it's exactly what's going to happen. And we have many examples in the business history, not only in the media and in the content, but also in technology. Like a very recent example was Nokia,
Yeah,
but also Kodak and Xerox.
cool.
If you think
Yeah,
about, yeah, all of the companies that are refusing new technology just because they don't believe this is the future,
yeah.
and then the future comes at them.
Follows them.
Yeah, yeah. Right. Interesting. It's really one of my passions, actually, artificial intelligence and especially copywriting. I see a lot of potential because a lot of the writers are not really good at it. A lot of them don't really know what it is.
Yeah,
And when you're doing something online and trying to do like not something but a business online, you will that's a number one skill to you have to master
yeah,
because you have to sell basically, and
yeah,
copywriting is about convincing people to
yeah,
take some action. So you might gonna have to do some kind of an education like educating people why this is
yeah,
important.
yeah.
um, yeah,
That's what I'm leaning towards. I mean, that's because then that will help people. And anytime you come across somebody online that's helping people in a, how can I say, structured way, rather
yeah,
than fluff like this. I like to follow people online that just get straight to the point.
yeah,
There's no need to go into like a couple of paragraphs that are explaining some background where you don't need to know it. I just got this problem that I need fixing. I've come to you because I think you can fix it, but there's too much fluff. So yeah, I
yes.
want to try and make my newsletter in that way. I just haven't nailed it down exactly what it's going to be, but I mean, having this conversation actually is making my mind think about the
Yeah.
avenues that I can
Well, you
go down.
could do so many things basically, and you are from in my unplugged community, a paid member community, and I have just started this Substack quest. Not gonna take the time for this in any way. It's just I think it's the very right moment because it will help you figure this out along the way, and it's coming really in the near future.
I wanted to ask you about that. What what the quest is and what it's
Yeah.
going to be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's basically it's a set of it's a program. I'd like to call it as a program, but it's really a quest because it's a lot about doing and not so much about learning. It's
Yeah,
implementing and learning from the process and improving all of the way until you get where you want to be on your Substack, until you get your confidence that you know what you're doing on Substack, until you're growing your free subscribers and the right type of subscribers, as you
Yeah.
said, not just any type of subscribers, and until you have a pretty decent conversion rate. At least what's average on Substack of 5% or something like that. And for your newsletter, I think there's huge potential because with paid newsletter, it's all about providing tangible assets or like for example digital products or services or solutions, let's say. They can come in many forms.
Yeah.
In your case, for example, AI prompts, formulas for the copywriting. We have so many formulas. So
Yeah.
basically, you could share one formula every week, adapted
Mhm.
for different use cases, for selling online, or for making a business online, or whichever niche you want to focus. You could do also e-commerce because it's in your background.
Yeah.
And you can paywall this and have this as a paid subscriber benefits. And you could do also a set of trainings similar to like building them online, like publishing one thing at a time,
Yeah.
and see reactions from your audience. A lot of stuff you could do, and it's really the right timing because this quest is going to help you along this. But we can talk about this after this session. What I just wanted to share now is that there are some newsletters, very successful newsletters, doing exactly that. If you look at it, like for example, writing with AI, which is similar to your niche,
Well,
from Nicholas Cole. Yeah.
yeah,
So
I
he,
subscribe to them.
yeah. So they are, Deacon and Bush and Nicholas Cole. They are doing exactly this. So a lot of free content, and then for the paid subscribers, they have prompts,
Yeah.
which are solving painful problems, like straight to the point of what writers who want to write quality writing with AI are facing as problems, and they give them the solutions.
Yeah.
And then that's basically it. And it's exactly very you could extract a template out of it. It's always there. Paid newsletters are always like explaining what's the problem, what's the pain, and
Yeah.
then giving the solution behind the paywall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like their newsletter. In actual fact, I'm trying to model my newsletter on theirs. The way they have. I mean, I'm not thinking about paid at the moment. Like I said, I want to try and get
Yeah,
to a.
it's yours is free currently as you're trying to build your audience.
Yeah, I want to build the audience first, and also nail down exactly, you know, how I'm going to position my newsletter.
Yeah.
But right with AI is something that I would like to emulate. To be honest.
Yeah. It's a very good example because it's very so close to you. But in your case, since it's copywriting, it's really so much things you could do. You could then create some kind of collectible of all copywriting formulas for different, use cases,
Yeah.
and teach people how to do it with AI in the most quality way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still suspect you might need to do some kind of education about what's copywriting and why it is important. So this could be like your story around your newsletter.
Yeah, I think the newsletters that I've published so far are are like that because I think the first one it was about. I mean, I don't know if you know some of the copywriting formulas. One of the famous ones is AIDA,
Yes,
AIDA, and
yes.
each letter stands for like attention, interest, desire, and action.
Yes.
And I think my first 4 or 5 newsletters were about. I just broke down each one,
Yeah,
explaining what it means, why it's being used, and I think I've tried to put in real world examples so people can read the theory and then see how it's implemented. So I think that is for my Thursday newsletter and Tuesday newsletter, or maybe just the Thursday one. That will be the teaching part of the formulas. I've
yeah,
collected about 23 different formulas, all variations of, the
Yeah, yeah,
persuasion techniques and stuff. So I've got enough content that I believe I can put out there
of course.
to teach people different formulas, because different formulas work in different environments and different
Different use cases, yes.
yeah, use cases. So that will be the focus for the Thursday newsletter, and then I want to try and add on to it, like you said, the teachings and prompts, or how to use AI, how to
Yeah.
teach people how to use that properly as well.
Yeah, 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 definitely, definitely. So one of my favorite formulas is one that is called PAS, like
Yes,
problem agitation, like solution.
yeah,
It's really powerful. Um, yes, and I think it's a great idea. And also, you could specify a little bit more about, because it's all about the audience in on Substack, and also in any online business, writing business. It's really important. Who are you talking about? So that's why these use cases are very, very important. Um,
yeah,
so for whom? Is it somebody who is running an e-commerce website? Is it somebody who is running a newsletter, or somebody who is writing digital advertising copies that are aiming to sell?
yeah,
And it's again, it's different whether it is for Google, like for example, or for Facebook, because on Google, people, when they go, they already search, so they have, they are already, it's intentional, their search. They have a conscious need of the thing that they are searching, so
yeah,
they already know what they want. So it's one type of copy. And then if you go into Facebook or social media for advertisement, then it's another type of copy, because it has to be, it has to have the purpose to create emotion, because if you're trying to sell on social media, it's going to be an emotional purchase, while on Google it has to be an educated type of purchase decision. So it's
I
really,
think I think what I'm leaning towards is I've been on LinkedIn since 2010, but I haven't. I'm probably one of the many out there that have had a LinkedIn account, because back in the day we were told, oh, it's a professional area, you need an account, and never really done anything with it. But
yeah,
again, when I started my newsletter, I started to be active on LinkedIn, and I think what I'm going to do is, alongside the newsletter, is trying to aim my copywriting at people who want to improve their LinkedIn profiles, and
great.
so using copywriting in their about pages, and showing them how, you have the header picture at the top, how a lot of people have just got a color or a picture, and I started putting posts out onto LinkedIn saying that's valuable real estate that you could actually, with a bit of design skills, you can use Canva, and put some calling points in the graphic. So, just things like that. So I think what I want to aim my teachings about is how to use copywriting with AI for your LinkedIn profiles.
Yeah, that's already very, very specific, and straight to the point. So yeah, it's a great use case, I would say. Um, it's another type of selling, where you sell yourself to future employers, for example.
Yeah,
Yeah, and also business partners. Why not to create relationships and build partnerships on LinkedIn, because a lot of people are using it exactly for that.
yeah,
Um, and also to sell their services to other businesses as
that's
well.
right. Yeah,
So those are already three different use cases for LinkedIn profile optimization with,
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
with with artificial intelligence. Great, great, amazing. Um, Anything you want to share about what you plan to introduce in your Substack in the near future, besides what we already we just discussed?
Um, I think I'm not quite there yet as what I want to introduce. I think, like I said, I'm pretty confident that I can move my newsletter from weekly to bi-weekly,
Yeah.
so Thursdays and Tuesdays. just to see if I can keep it up and to see if that helps with finding more subscribers. Because the more content you put out there, the more chances of people will find you, I think. And also just trying to be a bit more active on the notes.
Yes,
Um,
that's yeah,
yeah, and then basically as I'm going along, trying to hone in exactly what we've been talking about. Which direction I want to go in and use what do I want to, who I want to target basically. And then once you've got that in your mind, which is why I was talking about the LinkedIn thing. It's I actually got one subscriber actually come from LinkedIn, and that
yeah,
was only being active on LinkedIn for about 2 weeks.
yeah.
So that's promising.
Yes,
So
yes,
I really want to focus on that and bring some of that over to LinkedIn, because there's a lot of people on Substack that have got LinkedIn profiles. So if I'm talking about using copywriting with AI to enhance your LinkedIn profile, surely somebody on Substack will see that and think, oh, okay, that's
yeah,
something I want to do.
yeah.
Let's subscribe to this newsletter and see, what I can learn.
Mm. Yes, yes. There are a lot of people who are bringing their audiences from LinkedIn to Substack pretty successfully. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So if you can help them enhance their LinkedIn, maybe it will bring them more subscribers to LinkedIn, and then they can bring them over to Substack.
That's a genius approach, honestly. I tell you why. No, really, I firmly believe that because the fastest way to grow online when you're new to some kind of a platform is to create this what is called the meta content, which is basically if you're LinkedIn and you write about LinkedIn, it's meta, and it's if you're on Medium and writing on Medium, it's meta. For X, for example, a lot of famous people on this social media have become famous with figuring out the platform, teaching other people about the platform. Which this is all kind of like examples of meta content. What I'm doing on Substack, basically, big part of it is so being on Substack, teaching people how to grow on Substack.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
type of a meta content, and it's also from my journey, by the way. When I started at Substack, I initially wanted to write about artificial intelligence because it was my I came from Medium, and Medium like rejected artificial intelligence
yeah,
in general, so I didn't really feel that's the right place. So I came to Substack and wanted to do that. But then I started as part of my newsletter. I also was sharing my progress on all of the platforms that I am doing something online. And then people started asking me a lot about Substack and how I'm growing on Substack. And then that's why I
yeah.
focused my
So
newsletter. Yes, yes. So that's why I think it's a great way to approach this for LinkedIn specifically, because you're doing it not in a traditional way like everybody's doing it, including me, uh, um, teaching people on the same platform about the same platform, but you are basically combining two platforms. So I'm really curious to see how this goes, your project,
yeah,
and
so
follow.
I
Yeah,
hope football's in place. Yeah, but I mean, early days. Yeah, but I think I've always thought that you've got to have a focus on like the more narrow you go,
yeah,
the better, especially when you're starting out. And then if you grow from there, then you can always expand out. But I just thought I've got to figure out just one platform. Um, my voice is Substack. The way I look at it, my voice is Substack,
yeah,
but the focus is LinkedIn.
yeah.
That's what I'm trying to hone in on at the moment.
Amazing. Great. I'm really looking forward to see how this goes.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
yes.
mean, this chat's helped a lot. It's helped a lot of clear some clouds from my head, to be honest. So
Yeah, yeah. Great. Okay. So moving towards closing our session, before that, can you share if you had to start Substack all over again, what would you do differently?
as I said, I think it was about figuring out how to use it and trying to find somebody or something that could teach you how to
Yeah.
set things up really quickly. Because I'll be honest with you, it took me about 10 days to kind of get to a place where I thought, right, I could publish my first newsletter. And in those 10 days, I could easily have stopped. I could have easily have just given up and thought, no, this is just too difficult. And then maybe I would have gone to Beehive, and maybe their videos are not that good. And I'm like, oh, this is too difficult. You know, it's easy to get into that mindset,
Yeah.
especially nowadays, because, I mean, we know that we've got information at our fingertips, but trying to find it can be really difficult, and finding the right information. So I don't know, maybe I should do something and put together a massive article that people can just follow step by step, because I
Yeah.
went through it and I know exactly what, you know,
I don't
was.
know. I would. I mean, if you want, you can do it, of course. I would. I will always try to stay away from this type of content because you will create it now, and then in 2 months it's already.
that, that, that is the issue, and
Yeah.
that's why I wouldn't do it. I'm just saying that. Maybe I'm saying this because I want somebody else to do it, but you're right, because platforms change. Like, you've written a screenshot saying, click on this button. And
Yeah.
I always get this when I used to use, or when I use Google Analytics. I mean, they are notorious for changing the user interface
Yeah.
on such a regular basis that when you go onto YouTube and you find a video about something that you want to do on Google Analytics, and
Yeah.
let's say it's about 3 weeks old, and
Yeah.
what they said in that week in the video, which was 3 weeks old, the button that you're looking for is not there no more.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
that can frustrate people, and it can actually work negatively against you. But this is why I'm thinking, I mean, it's something that Substack should actually do.
I think
But
so. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, you muddle through and you find you get there, and there are people out there that are not interested in setting up, you know,
Yeah.
getting everything
Yeah. Yeah.
perfect, which you shouldn't really. Just
Yeah.
start publishing your newsletter, and I think that's probably what I would have done, is just publish my newsletter,
Yeah.
set my account, publish a newsletter, and I'll figure out in the next few days afterwards, how do I put the thumbnail there, how do I upload this, my header and this and that and all that kind of stuff, and how do I
Yeah.
change the URL. That was another thing, I couldn't figure out how to change the URL to customize it.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I would have done, just create the accounts, set my first newsletter out, and then figured it out as I
Mhm.
went.
Yeah, I also tell people who are new to Substack to first figure out the platform by themselves because it's I know it's difficult, but it's an investment. It's an investment in
Yeah, it is. And like I said, it's now that I've figured it out, I look back on it and I'm thinking, oh well, those things were easy to do. It's like I said, if you don't know how to do something, it can be the most difficult thing. But when
yeah,
you
yeah,
figure it out, it's like, oh, that was easy. So
yeah.
yeah, I would
Yeah,
just say
once you figure
start.
it, it
Yeah,
yeah, it really becomes very easy then. It's
and it's one of those things. Once it's done once, that's it. It's done forever. So you can now just concentrate on putting your content out there.
exactly, exactly. Great. Anything else you want to share to and tell people who would start on Substack first right now?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I haven't been on there long enough to really deep dive into that question. Maybe in 6 months I would have more things that I would probably say. But yeah, um, I think that the hardest, all right, finding how to change the URL and doing all that can be figured out. But I think the hardest thing with any newsletter, whether you Beehive, your Substack, or LinkedIn Medium, is getting into a mode of publishing regularly
Yes,
and having
I
a
love that.
content plan.
I love that. Yeah, yeah, really, really great
That's
advice.
the hardest thing, because why would you want to make your Substack look shiny and nice when after 3 weeks you give up writing? So that's the biggest obstacle, is can you write regularly?
Yeah,
And
yes,
it's always the case, anything that you do. So with writing, your first newsletter is always going to be rubbish or not so good. But the more and more you do it, you get better and better at it, and that's the main thing.
yeah, yeah. I love that. I love that. It's really, really important. It's something that you set for yourself. It's more of a mindset thing.
Yeah,
A
that's
lot of
it.
a lot of
That's what it
writing.
is. It's a mindset thing. If you can control that, then
Yeah,
90% of the way there.
Yeah, consistency. Yeah. A lot of the big writers are saying exactly this, that 90% of the thing is basically staying consistent.
Yeah, and I think actually I've got into more now. I think a lot of people who have joined your challenges, the weekly
Yeah,
newsletter, and especially the notes one,
yeah,
the way you got it set up, where you got to tick once you've posted your note or your newsletter. I've
yeah,
actually got into a mode now where, um, so I had a party on the weekend on the Sunday, and I was out all day, and it was only until the Monday I realised, oh my god, I haven't posted a note on Substack, so I can't tick that box, and I was so upset with myself.
yeah,
But it was good because I thought, well, that's the mentality you want to get into. So now
yes,
I'm thinking, because I want to go a whole month where on your challenge where I've got a month's worth of ticks without no empty boxes.
yeah,
And I wanted to do that this month, so I got upset. But then I thought, okay, next month, what I got to do is got to figure out that there are going to be days when you're out and you're not in front of your laptop. But you can always use the Substack app
yeah,
and write your note on there. So I've got to start doing that more. But yeah, that's helping with consistency. Your
yeah,
challenges for sure.
yeah. Definitely, definitely. That's why I created them.
No, it's
It's
really helpful.
Yeah. Thank
I
you
would
so
actually
much.
say, sorry, going back to your other question, what would you do differently?
Yeah.
I would have found you earlier and started with the challenge earlier, and hopefully
Thank
that would have got me into my groove a bit earlier.
thank you, thank you for that. Yes. It's really helpful. Um. All right. Can you share three books that have significantly influenced your life?
Yeah. So there's a book called How to Think Like a Millionaire, and it's when they say don't judge a book by its cover. This is the exact book that typifies that, because when you read the title, How to Think Like a Millionaire, it implies that, oh, if you just think that you've got millions, then you'll become a millionaire. No, it's not like that. It's a book that's got 10 chapters, and each chapter is about businesses, real businesses like Ford, and how Henry Ford started his business and the challenges he's faced. One of them is about Ray Kroc, the guy who invented the franchise for McDonald's, and how he started it, took over McDonald's, and built that up. And it's all about each chapter. There's 10 chapters, and each one is about a different business along
Yes.
those lines. So that got me thinking out of the normal thinking modes that you have when you go to school, and they just teach you to sit down and do as you're told, and we're getting you ready for being a worker in a factory. That's the
Yeah.
way I look at it, and I'm like, well, this book helped break me out of those thought processes.
Yeah.
Another book that I just can't do without is Think and Grow Rich. Again, cover doesn't do it justice. Think and Grow Rich is by I can't remember his name. It's a famous book. A lot of people have heard of it. It was written in the 1920s, I think it was, and it's all about mindset. Uh, Not about if you think it, it manifests itself. No, it's about just mindset. It's getting you to think differently
Yes.
about money and how you can, what you need to do, the kind of things you need to do to kind of get yourself in the right mindset to do certain things and achieve goals. It's really good.
Yeah.
And the other one was Advertising by Ogilvy, and that's one of the books that really got me fascinated with copywriting a bit more.
Yeah. Love that guy.
David
Yeah.
Ogilvy. I don't know if you've seen or anybody has seen the show on TV called Mad Men.
No, I don't
So
think so.
Mad Men is about advertising back in the 60s, and it's based on this guy called David Ogilvy, who was one of the most famous copywriters.
Yes.
And he laid down a lot of the principles that people still use to this day, because copywriting is just about principles, and everything that's been like the frameworks that exist now, they were all done in the 1920s and 30s, 40s, 50s, and they still apply today. So that book was really good, and I open it towards how to use copywriting in the right way. So those
Yeah.
books are really good.
It's all about human nature and the mindsets and those things that are connected to those those fundamental things that you have to figure are really evergreen, evergreen
Because
topics.
copywriting is basically just psychology,
Exactly. Yeah.
but using words,
Yeah. Yeah. It
human
is.
behavior, and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. I have one favorite about money. It's from um, did I forget the name of the author? It's a famous hypnotherapist guy from the UK.
Okay.
Uh, let me check. Um,
In the UK.
in the UK, yes.
Okay.
And the book name is I Can Make You Rich. Paul McKenna. Paul McKenna.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. It's amazing guy. I love, I love his
I haven't
ways.
read the book, but I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So he has a hypnosis session recording attached to this book where you can self-hypnotize to like tune your mind to get into those type of thinking.
Yeah.
But it's not about that. The book is not about hypnosis in any way.
Mm.
It's about making you think differently. It's
Yes.
really great one.
Yeah.
Also,
So if you think about it, that book that you just mentioned and the other two that I mentioned, that,
yeah.
where I said the titles don't really make you think differently, that's
Yes.
copywriting. So you in a book you've got only so much space, and in there you need to entice people. So having titles like "Think and Grow Rich" or "How to Think Like a Millionaire" or "I Will Make You Rich," or it entices people to at least pick the book off the shelf and want to open it and to see what it's about. So that's copywriting there.
Yeah, exactly. Great, great. You should write a book maybe on copywriting something
I don't think
with
I'm
AI.
quite. No.
With AI. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think we should write books about evergreen topics and not technology because technology is really today it's a hype and then after
Mm.
10 years it's
Yeah.
really something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah. I mean, that's a skill in itself. Finding those topics to write about that lasts for years and years and years.
Yes, 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 definitely. All right. Any can you share any productivity tips that you have found working for you?
Um, I think the biggest one is I've got 4 screens in front of me, including my laptop screen, which is the one that I'm on now. And that just comes from the fact that was, when I work on the e-commerce website, if I have to make an update, I've got one screen where I'm making the update, and the other screen has got the live site. So when I make the update, I can just go over to the other screen and click refresh to see what's happened. So it's about, I mean, I know not everybody's going to have multiple screens, but for me that works.
Yeah,
Having tabs open here and there, and I don't have to like find the tabs and stuff. Um, the other thing is I had a Notion account for a couple of years, but I never really used it up until starting the newsletter, and I'm finding that I've always tried to find some one place that I could keep all my everything in one
content. Yeah,
place. So I've got it on one screen, so we have links to anything that I've got. It's got notes on there. And Notion for me is the best thing, especially because a lot of the functionality is free.
yeah,
What you need is, you can have on the free tier. So I think Notion is a game changer. I look at it as like my locker where I've got. So, like for example, if I've bought a course
yeah.
and I will put the link to the course in Notion under courses, so I could just go there because sometimes you forget where they are
Yeah,
and what the website is, where the login, the login details and all those kind of things. So I find Notion very, very helpful.
great. I also just discovered Notion. I wasn't really, yeah, I didn't like it. The idea of it in any way because I'm using an app on my mobile devices called Notability.
Notability,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, and I didn't really see the need for using Notion in any way.
Mm.
But now I started because of the quest because I needed to organize everything in one place,
Yeah, yeah.
and
What
it's
I've
really
also found, sorry,
it's
is
really great.
you know how you put out like a course or with this quest thing, and you
Yeah,
want to let's say you've put together a document that only you
Yeah.
want only the course members to see.
Yeah.
What I find in LinkedIn is when they say, "Oh, if you want access to this cheat sheet, DM me and I'll send you the link," and the link always goes to Notion.
Yeah.
And it's a private page on Notion that you can
Yeah.
only access if they give you access to it. So not only does it act like a repository for your everything that you've got, your links and anything you want to store, you can actually make a website out of it as well
Yes.
with
Yes.
private pages and stuff. So it does a lot of things, and obviously you got to find your own app that you feel comfortable with. But if I had to recommend one, it would be Notion. There's again, yeah, there is a steep learning curve, just like Substack, but if you push through it, you'll find it, and you find your way through, and it becomes easy.
Oh,
It's just got so many features. It's really good.
yes. 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 It is. It is. At the beginning, I think I didn't want to use it at the beginning because it was too complex for me, even
Yeah,
for
that's
me.
what I found. Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, so I had to really push myself to learn it.
yeah,
Same way like Substack. But I didn't really find a need for that until I started the quest, obviously. So,
yeah.
but I loved it. Now I love it really. It's amazing. Great. Final question.
Okay.
If money is not an issue, what would you do? My
Uh,
favorite question.
so is this like just how you would live, or would you? I don't know. That can apply to anything, couldn't it? I think I would live in London. I
Yeah.
found this apartment there in central London. Me and my wife actually works around the corner from where the apartment is. And when I say works there, she doesn't work there
Yeah.
full time. She's goes in once a month. It's in Covent Garden. You may have heard of Covent Garden.
Yeah.
We both love it there. So if money was an issue, I'd buy that apartment, live there. But I would still be active on the internet, and I would want to be putting something out. To be honest, what I'm doing right now, because I work from home uh, to my own hours. I've been doing this for a number of years now, and even if I wasn't paid, I would do this. I just love it. I love being
Great.
online and being at the not the forefront, but especially with like AI coming out, I love knowing how it's changing and what it's going to do for the future. It's like being back in the mid 90s and just before the internet started. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the way I look at it. So if money was an issue, I'd still probably be doing what I'm doing now, but in London.
Yes.
Yeah,
Great. Great answer. Great answer. I love that. It means from that book that I was just mentioning,
yeah,
this Paul McKenna guy, he says
mm,
that if you answer something like this, that you would do basically the same thing, it already means that you have this abundant mindset that you need to it
yeah.
to become rich in his words.
I think that question reveals a lot about people
Yeah, I
without
think so
realizing.
too. Yes, I didn't put it.
Until they're asked to answer the question, then
Yes,
things flood into their mind and they think, oh, okay, that was
yeah, it
buried deep.
makes you
I
really
didn't realize
think.
that. Yeah,
Yes, yes. It really makes you think because when you ask yourself such kind of a question, then everything that you thought that you need or aim for or you want to achieve, it
yeah,
doesn't really make so much sense if you want to do really the same things that you're doing right now. So,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, it's all about that. It's in psychology, it's intrinsic motivation, which is basically called like the real motivation that drives people to do things,
yeah, yeah,
not external motivation that is driven by society or
mm,
employer or family or things like that. It's just really what you want to
yeah,
um, do, what you feel that you need and want to do.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Amazing, amazing answer. Well, yeah, thank you so much, Raj,
Yeah,
for this. It was an amazing conversation. A lot of things that you shared. I think it's going to be really, really interesting for both of our audiences to watch
yeah.
this.
I mean, thanks for choosing me in the first place. I mean, I didn't expect to
It's
get
well
chosen. I've
deserved,
taken them.
basically. You're so active, so yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's if anybody's doing the challenge, I would say keep going because I wasn't doing it for that long and I've been chosen and now I'm sitting here with Yana. So keep going. You never know, you might be the next one to be
yes,
chosen.
yes. Thank you so much for that. It was really a nice conversation. A pleasure to have you.
I would also say, so if you remember at the start, I was very nervous. Told my
Yes.
wife as well. She goes, "Are you looking forward to it?" And I says, "No, I'm not, because I'm really nervous. I've never done anything like this before. I've had this laptop now for about 3 years, and I've only just realised that the camera button
Yeah.
was set to off. And I thought, yeah, I'll leave it like that because I don't want to be on screen. But now I've been on screen, I feel like you're giving me a bit more confidence.
Right.
Thank you
See,
for that.
so that's a little bit of a tiny transformation that we have now.
Okay, thanks for that.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. You know, you could actually, so a lot of people right now are starting and doing things like that on Substack, like videos and live videos
Yeah,
and all of that. So maybe we should do a live video together. So
yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, I've heard the live videos
yeah, yeah,
gain a lot of attention and stuff. So
I
that
think so
that'd be
too.
interesting. Yeah.
I think so too. Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Raj. It was an
Yeah.
amazing session.
Thank
Thank you.
you for having me.
Join me for a spotlight session like this. All you need to do is to join one of my monthly challenges, either notes or writing. Stay consistent and make sure you add yourself to the accountability tracker. Oh, and you have to be one of my paid members. If you complete just one of those challenges in just one single month, it's highly probable that I will select you for a spotlight session so that you can talk about yourself, share your personal story, and spread the word about your Substack so that more people will learn about it and hopefully become your subscribers. I distribute those sessions to my entire subscriber list on Substack, ConvertKit, NowKit, and my Medium account and my social media channels. It's easy to win those challenges, and all you need to do is just to stay consistent. I see you inside.